In this video, I'm going to be talking about commissions and how to price your artwork, especially if you're newer. So, a little bit of a story time on my end. The way that I started them was actually because I would do small subscriber raffles on Twitch. So, if you were subscribed to me for the time you'd be entered into a raffle, there was a chance that you might win a small little drawing at the end of the month. That's how I started, and then a few years later, I've actually just been doing full-blown commissions. And there's a little bit of progress from point A to point B, and I've had a bunch of different price models, but I figured I would share some of those with you just so you kind of get an idea of how I did what I did and why I did what I did. But yeah, the main takeaway from all of this is just going to be this statement right here: charge enough that it's worth your time. What I mean by that is charge enough that you feel like you can do a really good job, you can do your best work, you don't feel rushed, you're not going to be mad that you spend that little bit of extra time trying to make things perfect. Because if you think about it, if you don't charge enough and you're always trying to crank these things out, you're going to ruin a lot of your portfolio pieces that might be the reason that somebody else hires you. So if you can take your time, you make a really good drawing every single time, those are going to be pieces that you contribute to your portfolio. You can say, hey, this is a commission I made for this person, and here's the thing I made for this person, and here's the thing I made for this person. Look at how detailed these all are. This is a consistent quality of commissions. It wasn't just blatant favoritism for one over the other. So as you can expect, this usually means that you charge more, but it does mean that you can make something that you're happy with. And the opposite could also be true. You're charging so little that you can crank these things out really easy because people know, yeah, he'll be done in 1 or 2 hours. It's no big deal. But there's a lot of pieces that you could be ruining and will actually be detrimental because it won't be an accurate reflection of your skill level. So you always want to charge enough that it is worth your time, because that's when you're going to do your best work. You're not going to mind taking your time and, making it a little bit extra pretty and good and awesome. So that way it will ultimately give you a better portfolio and a stronger portfolio for people to actually know what you're capable of, and it will be what they come to expect from a commission anyway. So take your time. Another thing that you should be considering when you are doing commissions is find out how many commissions you want to be doing. Are you trying to do this as a full-time job? Are you trying to do this kind of just on the side to like buy that occasional video game over there that you're wanting? That is also a big part of it, because depending on how you price your commissions will affect how much of your time you are spending on commissions. Mine are a little bit more on the expensive side, but that means that I usually get to work on my own stuff, which I'm actually okay with. So I get to do mostly my own personal projects, and then occasionally I have another extra project thrown in from somebody else, which I feel like is a good balance to me. Because I get to do mostly my own thing, occasionally a thing for someone else, and that balance works out pretty good for me. But if you're a person who has a really hard time trying to do things for other people and you have a hard time converting their vision into your style, you maybe want to price that accordingly, because like I said, if you're having more fun doing your own thing, you need to make those prices that you're charging justify you not doing your own thing and still trying to have fun with it. So just know how often you want to be doing commissions. Another thing you can do is have a variety in price ranges, so it's not just one default, this is it, that's the thing. Break it down into a bunch of different things, give people options. Pretty much for me, what it is regardless of whatever you're getting, you are getting the same amount of detail, just because I usually make very detailed stuff. The only thing that actually changes the price of commissions is how much of a character I draw. So the least expensive one is just a portrait shot, so it's just like a bust like this. The second one is a half body. The third one is like 3/4 to full body. So it's pretty much just a question of how much of your character do you want me to draw? But detail wise, it's going to be the same. And that is a pretty good model, but you could also consider doing other things. So you could make it a service like Twitch banners, making emotes for people, phone wallpapers. Is it something that they're going to have printed out? If you want to offer your art kind of as a service, if people are doing that. But if it's commercially, charge it commercially. Like if they're just using it for fun and it's a cool thing for them, that's cool. But if they plan on using it for their own business and they're going to be making money off of it, make sure that you are pricing for that too. But yeah, so just know that you'll probably be asked to do whatever the least expensive is the most. So in the options that you have prepared to do a lot of the least expensive one. So just the thing to keep in mind. And the last thing is, don't charge too little. If people want this shit for free, they can just go and use AI. The fact that you dedicated time and skill into things, if they want it done right, they'll go to you. You don't need to feel bad about charging whatever you're going to charge, because if people are trying to be cheapskates with you, those are not the kinds of people that you want to have commission you. You don't want to deal with them. You want people that respect your time, respect your work. I know that at the beginning it's a little harder to say no to people because you don't have like an established history of doing commissions yet. But trust me, you don't want to work with some asshole who is never even going to pay you or will overly criticize what you're doing because they don't value what you're doing. That's just a recipe for disaster. If it's between cheap or free or anything like that, just let them use AI. Just shoo them away. Just no thanks. I don't want you here. But for the people who do actually respect your stuff, they do respect your prices. Sure, negotiation is one thing, but if they respect what you're doing, for the most part, those are the kind of people that you want to deal with. Because if you're dealing with a bunch of cheapskates, it's going to create a bad time for you, and they probably won't go back to you anyway. From what I've seen, they are usually not repeat customers. But yeah, I hope some of these statements have kind of helped you out. I've kind of, like I said, it's just me sharing my own experiences. I didn't really have a script. There were just some points to cover, but just remember, the biggest takeaway from this is charge whatever is worth your time. That is always going to be the model for me. So I will, increase or reduce prices however I see fit. If I'm getting better, I feel like I should be charging more. And if I want to make just quicker, easier to digest things, like a quick little 1-2 hour thing, a little pop, there you go, that won't be charged as aggressively. But yeah, with that being said, my commissions are open. The thing you saw me working on in this video actually is a commission. This one has some variations, which is one of those add-ons I was telling you about. So I have this character. I'm going to be drawing different versions of them. So this one's like a Mortal Kombat version of the character. You see here is like one with a headband and with a mask, and one that's just the face. But yeah, that's another one of those little add-ons I told you about. So if you like the video, let me know. If you have any questions, actually let me know, because I might make a video where I address some of these questions. But yeah, I will see you guys later. Bye. First it looked like Wonder Woman. Now it looks like Blue Tifa. Yo, what the hell?